Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today is gonna be a quick one. I'm pretty tired. Gotta bang another one out, get this one ready. It's gonna be why wet dreams are not a bad thing on semen retention. Because this is a very common misconception that I see. And I've spoken about it before, but I want to make a dedicated video. And this is gonna be simple, this is gonna be quick. So people either think, okay, a wet dream is something you need to avoid, and they try everything to avoid a wet dream, which is an unhealthy thing, and I'm going to explain why. And then there's another group of people on semen retention that are kind of like, okay, wet dreams are going to happen. They accept it, but they kind of see it like as a small relapse. They're like, okay, it's not as bad as a relapse, but I still kind of relapsed in my dream. And really, the answer is none of these two. It's really that when you have a wet dream, it's only prostatic liquid that comes out. So this is like pre-liquid. I don't want to say the word. I don't know if you can really, yeah, you can probably say it, but anyways, the pre-liquid, when you're having intercourse, it's similar to that. It doesn't have actual sperm in it. So it's not a relapse at all. When you look at an ejaculation, it's 95% prostatic liquid and 5% is the actual concentrated life. It's the actual sperm. And your body's smart. It knows better than to just throw that away. So when you have a wet dream, it's only the prostatic liquid, and it's like a buildup of pressure. And every few weeks, maybe every month, it'll come out. And it depends per person, because the people that tell themselves, I can't have a wet dream, they're hyper focused on that. Since they're putting so much mental energy towards that, it's actually gonna impact the frequency of wet dreams and is actually gonna make them have less frequent wet dreams, which is why I said this may not be the healthiest thing if you're kind of blocking that energy, which is just like, it's just your prostate filling up naturally, right? It's just like the prostatic liquid. It's made so it's always ready to have an ejaculation, but it doesn't need to be an actual relapse, and it's not an actual relapse when it's a wet dream. Now, that's it for this video. Maybe you could go into the fact that sometimes when you have a wet dream, well, I say wet dream, but it doesn't necessarily have to be associated with a dream. This is the last thing I want to touch on, because people have a wet dream. Okay, there's sexual things happening in their dream, and then they have this release of prostatic liquid. But you can also have it in a way, which is what happens to me most of the time, right? Where it's not associated to a dream. This is just a release because it needs to release, right? The prostatic liquid, because your prostate is full. So basically, I think that depends on how sexualized your mind is. So as you proceed with semen retention, when you have a wet dream, it won't actually be connected to an actual dream, or it doesn't have to be. I don't think this necessarily really plays a part. Like, I don't think the dream is actually a bad thing in itself. But it's something to know, something to look out for, that may change as you progress on semen retention. Now, that is it for this video. I'm pretty tired. I'm going to pass out, but the reason I'm filming this video is because I've committed to posting 6 days a week. So I'm posting pretty much every day. And even though it's late at night, I'm going to go to bed. I put this one out there, put some value out there. So make sure to subscribe for the next videos to come, and leave a like as well. Peace.